Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game day. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Cowboys are taking on the Philadelphia Eagles tonight, 7 o'clock, 7:20 on NBC in the opening game kickoff for the NFL. The banner is being hung. We're going to walk into Philly and beat them. Yes, you heard it right here, folks. We are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles on banner night. Now, welcome to today's video. Before I get into that, hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Today, we are going to be reacting to these SEC games that were played over the weekend, right? We do this every single day. We're going to react, then we'll predict the SEC games, of course, that are going to be played this upcoming weekend on Saturday, and then later today we will have our Vanderbilt Dynasty video. So, again, sorry for getting the late video out. I've been super busy today, but regardless, we're getting 3 videos out for you guys today. Now, with that said, NFL season is officially upon us. I'm a Sunday Ticket member officially, and yeah, cannot wait to get this NFL season underway as the Cowboys are walking into Philly, and I'm getting nervous every minute leading up to kickoff right now. So, hit that sub button if you want to stay up to date with all of the latest videos, and without further ado, let us go ahead and hop into these SEC Week Number 1 reactions. All right, so kicking us off on Thursday night, we had, of course, Missouri hosting Central Arkansas in the SEC opener. Don't know why Missouri always plays on Thursday night like that, but they always do. The quarterback, Pablia, I believe is his name for Missouri, threw for 2 touchdowns, 23 of 28, not a terrible day on the ground as well, and 283 yards. So, really good day for the Missouri Tigers as they get the job done like what they were expected to do, right? This is a Central Arkansas team that's probably an FCS level type of team, and they do blow them out at home. They did struggle a little bit in the first quarter, but once they got going, obviously, the offense seemed to be rolling, and it looks like they have their quarterback as well. So Missouri does get the win at home like they were supposed to against Central Arkansas. Now, moving on to Friday night, we had the Auburn Tigers going into the Baylor Bears in a Friday night season opening matchup. This game was electric. This game was absolutely insane. Jackson Arnold doing what he does best, obviously, and rushing for 2 touchdowns on the day. A great percentage, if you're asking me, when it comes to rushing. Now, what I did not like about this game was the fact that he didn't air the ball deep, right? But, again, that comes with, hey, that wasn't the game plan, right? The game plan, or maybe it was the game plan in the first half, where we did see some early throws from Jackson Arnold and stuff like that, but realized that the run game was working so much better than the passing game and then reverted to that. Hugh Freeze made the adjustments needed. Obviously, Damari Alston and, of course, Jeremiah Cobb got the majority of the calls, and now Damari Alston is going to miss this Ball State game, which we will talk about in the next video, so stay tuned for that. But again, really good running game, of course, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but really good job running the football and running it down their throats until, of course, they gave out, and ultimately Auburn did get the job done thanks to Jackson Arnold, who has now leaped into the Heisman Trophy conversation, right? He's like number 15 or so now on that Heisman Trophy watch board. So, again, have games like that, Jackson Arnold, and he will be in the discussion come January or December. Now, moving on, we had Texas going into Ohio State. This was the big one, right? Everybody was hyping up Arch Manning's return. Julian Sayin, Arch Manning, Jeremiah Smith going at it as well. This was the lowest scoring game of the weekend, folks. Yes, 7-14, the final score of the Ohio State-Texas game. Arch Manning did not look good at all. I believe he had an interception on the day. He was 17 of 30, 170 yards, 1 touchdown pass on the day, and that came late in the fourth quarter in garbage time for the most part. So, not a great day at the office for Arch Manning, especially when he was overhyped by literally everybody this offseason. Julian Sayin didn't impress me at all either, right? The Ohio State quarterback coming in, taking over for Will Howard, was also a little bit hyped up by Ryan Day, and that the offensive guys as well on the offensive side of the ball. But it just didn't look like they were ready to play. Now, again, Ohio State's defense is insanely good, and so is Texas's. Both of these two teams know how to have good defenses, and that's probably what happened. They got nervous. It was their first game, a big time game like that. So hey, maybe these next couple of games they'll start to figure it out. But no, neither of these quarterbacks impressed me this weekend. That's for sure. As of course, Ohio State does beat Texas though at home, and they are now number 1 in the country. Marshall going into Georgia. Georgia getting the job done, 45-7. Gunnar Stockton looked really good, is what I took away from this matchup. 14 of 24, almost 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. He also had 2 rushing touchdowns on the day as well. So really good on him. I thought the connection with Zachariah Branch was there for the most part. 100 receiving yards, 1 touchdown, as was really well done for him. The transfer from USC. So again, that's going to be a connection to watch all season long. Gunnar Stockton to Zachariah Branch, and I think that Georgia has found their future quarterback. Now, let us go ahead and talk about the upset that happened this weekend. Alabama going into Florida State. And I literally said on the channel, I said that I would not be shocked if Florida State won this game whatsoever in the slightest. Thomas Castellanos was talking a lot of crap, right? Over the offseason, Bama and Florida State, they were going back and forth. Well, Thomas Castellanos backed that shit up and got the job done for Florida State. They upset 8th ranked Alabama. Alabama drops all the way to 21st in the AP poll. Now, when it comes to the game itself, I thought Thomas Castellanos did a really good job. I thought he could have made, yes, some reads every now and then, some better reads, especially going back and watching a little bit of it. But he took off a lot, and that is the Gus Malzahn system that he was designed at Auburn when Cam Newton was there, when Bo Nix was there. That's what he does, is build running quarterbacks. And ultimately, Vanderbilt last year proved that you can beat Alabama by running the football down their throat. Kane Womack is not going to be that guy. He did not look like he made any adjustments in that second half and just kept playing that style of ball. So again, Ty Simpson, I thought, looked okay in his Alabama debut, 23 of 42. Not a terrible completion to pass ratio right there. 254 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day as well. Jeremy Bernard looked really good. He is going to be a guy to watch for this Alabama offense because everybody's going to be double teaming Ryan Williams. Well, Bernard is a insanely talented receiver as well. So Bama's got some weapons. We're just going to have to see if Ty Simpson can utilize them in the right capacity and if Kellen DeBoer actually calls the right plays. That was also a point in this game as well where he did not make any adjustments either. This entire Alabama staff did not change what they were doing from the first half to the second half, and ultimately Gus Malzahn and the Florida and Mike Norvell and Thomas Castellanos took advantage of that, and they absolutely beat down Alabama in the first game of the season. I might call out and say Alabama might be overrated, but this game definitely helps that, of course, as well. Moving on. Long Island University going into Florida, the game that I thought I was going to go to, but ultimately decided against because there were just way too many good games on Saturday night. Florida getting the job done, 55-0 against, of course, Long Island University. DJ Lagway played really well. Obviously got taken out early just because it's, again, an FCS team. But I thought Wilson looked really good as well. I thought Brown for Florida looked really good. Their wide receiver cores are looking insanely good, and they are definitely going to be competing in this SEC conference for sure. Illinois State going into OU. I thought OU did what they needed to do. John Mater, 30 of 37, light day at the office for him. 392 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Pretty much as expected for him, but they got a tough one coming up against Michigan, so we'll see how well that translates into that game. UTSA going into Texas A&M. When I flipped this game on, dude, it was a 3-point ball game. I kid you not. It was a close game all the way up until that fourth quarter where Texas A&M and Marcel Reed just absolutely went bonkers in that fourth quarter. 289 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes on the day for Marcel Reed. 23 of 34. So a really good job on him. And then, of course, the UTSA running back leading the way in rushing with 2 touchdowns on the day and 177 yards. That is how you beat SEC teams. Run the ball down their throats. That's going to be how a lot of teams in the SEC beat other teams in the SEC because they can just not stop it. And ultimately, UTSA showed that, especially in the first half. Florida State showed that, especially in the entirety of the game. So you want to be an SEC team, run the ball. That is my takeaway from this weekend. Moving on, Georgia State, of course, going into Ole Miss. Ole Miss getting the job done like they were supposed to. Moving on from the Jackson Dart era is going to be a little tricky for Lane Kiffin, but nothing I'm not concerned about. Syracuse, of course, going into Tennessee, or in Atlanta. I thought that Tennessee looked really good. I thought that Joey Aguilar looked really good and is going to be the better quarterback than Nico Iamaleava ever was for Tennessee. That was the talk about the entirety of the offseason. And ultimately, Joey Aguilar showed why he is going to be the better quarterback for them by beating a really good opponent in Syracuse in Atlanta. Mississippi State, Southern Miss. This game was a little back and forth in the first half between two schools, of course, that are in the state of Mississippi. So an in-state rival, not very shocked that that happened just because Mississippi State was put in, of course, a terrible situation. We'll just call it that. And Mississippi State getting the job done on the road, though, regardless. Toledo at Kentucky. Zach Calzada, I thought, struggled a little bit for Kentucky, especially in that first half. Took them a while to get going. But other than that, Kentucky got the job done. Arkansas hosting, of course, Alabama A&M, a kind of Spanish Fort reunion. E.J. King, the running back out of Spanish Fort, with Trent Sellers, the linebacker out of course, Spanish Fort last year, committed to play for Arkansas. They obviously did not play in this game because Arkansas, when you're playing in an SEC team, you're not going to do that really. So again, I'm not shocked that they didn't play or anything, but it's just kind of cool to see these two guys who went to the same high school that I did and ultimately, of course, get the job done. Vanderbilt got the job done. Charleston Southern. Diego Pavia, 20 of 25, 275 yards, 3 touchdown passes. I liked what he did today, or on Saturday, rather. He looked really good, and they get the job done. And then the last one, Virginia Tech, going into South Carolina. South Carolina getting the job done. That first drive, dude, LaNorris Sellers looked elite. LaNorris Sellers is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC this year. Might even potentially contend for the Heisman. We shall see as time goes on. But South Carolina definitely has a tough schedule this year, no doubt about it. But I think that they will manage and make the college football playoff. That is my takeaways from week 1, though, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Up next, in about an hour or so, you guys are going to be getting SEC predictions. And then in 2 hours from now, we'll have our Vanderbilt Dynasty. So hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.